What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Sound Design Lab with your host Jacobo, and today I am once again pumped to show you a sound that sounds a lot like it comes from a Neuro drum and bass song similar to that of NOISIA or the Upbeats, and this is what it sounds like. And I went ahead and put together a tiny little thing. It's nothing, it's just a little beat, a little hi-hat, a little, eerie horn in the back, just to give you kind of idea of what you can do with this sound, and this is what it sounds like. So there you go. I think it sounds great. I hope you do too. And there's a lot going on in this patch, so I'm going to delete this just to show you guys that I'm using a default patch here. No games, no post-processing, none of that. I'm gonna make it 125 for you guys, get it nice and big. Get rid of this. Make sure our piano is on. And the note we're gonna be playing on today, guys, is E2. Now, normally, if you wanted to change a sound by lowering a couple octaves to play on a higher E, you could do that. But with this sound, you can't. If you bring the octaves down on the oscillators and then try to play the E4 instead, like bringing these down 2 octaves each and playing the E4, it will not sound the same. So unfortunately, you are going to have to make your songs using that low E2. That's just the way the sound came out. But to get right into it, let's go ahead and put anti-stasis on our oscillator A, turn on oscillator B, and throw that onto acid. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and crank up the octave to 2 on our oscillator B, turn off the level, and keep everything else the same. We're going to go ahead and turn on our sub and our noise, and we're just going to direct out the sub. We're going to go ahead and get into our first LFO real quick, which is just simply our first and only LFO, to be honest with you. We're gonna just put this right here. Isn't it great when you don't have to have a lot of LFOs? Just bring this down to the first line right here at the top, and then this is to the bottom of the second box on the second line right here. Just turn on our trigger, and then we're just gonna go ahead and bring our level down to 40, and throw our LFO, bringing it all the way to the top right here. And then we're going to go ahead and turn our noise on to, I have it on to J106, bring that there, and then we're going to go ahead and put our LFO on and bring it to about 20. Then we're going to go ahead and bring our level for our sub down to 30. All right, there. Put our LFO on it. Put it, it doesn't really matter. Once it hits that red point, you're good. So we're going to go ahead and turn on our FM from B and just put it up to 45. Get that FM from oscillator B, but we're not going to modulate it or anything. We're just going to leave it as is. This is where all the movement's going to come from, is our filter. Now we're going to go ahead and put our filter on low band 12, and this is where like exact numbers are going to start mattering. So if you go into here, you can double click for typeable values on controls, which will allow you to double click a knob and type in an exact number. If it's not letting you type, it's because typing keyboard to piano keyboard up here is selected, and you might need to turn that off. Sometimes that does get in the way. I'm not sure how to do that on Ableton, but hopefully you can figure it out. We're gonna go ahead and put the frequency on this at 114. And then we're going to go ahead and turn on our key track. Now you'll notice that when we turn on our key track, this frequency changes because the kind of frequency that this is affecting changes with the key that you're pressing, so it automatically moves, and it's at 43 now. So make sure you put the 114 before you put the key track, because I was trying to put 483 on this while this was selected, and it was just going random spots. So I just do it the way that I did it. It's easier. And put our resonance on 30, frequency on 50. Well, bam. Then we're gonna go ahead and put our LFO on the cutoff, bring it down to about 18. It's changing every single time we press it, so we're gonna go ahead and just turn off the random for our oscillators, and now we have that really cool movement that we're looking for. So now's the time to go into our effects. I believe that's everything. Yep, go into our effects, and we're gonna be using, I think, about 6. So I'll go through them. There's not a ton of changes, but just turn on our hyper, bring the rate down, leave 25 as is, and then go ahead and throw this. Well, let's go ahead and fix that. Bam, and crank that up. Give it that nice width that we're looking for, that delicious width. We're gonna go ahead and turn the distortion on and just throw this over onto asymmetrical is what I think this is. And we get that really cool, gritty, like almost growly sound out of it, which is really nice. And we haven't even, outside of the filter, done too much. And we're going to go ahead and throw a filter on it and get some really nice frequencies out of it using the comb, some really nice harmonics. We're gonna go ahead and put the cutoff on exactly 117, and that's actually really important that it's that exact number. And then we're gonna go ahead and put this on 70. So it's on 0, and then the LFO is bringing it up to 70 on the resonance. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the drive at 30. Right there, and that's gonna do some cool stuff. Just a little bit of just a change right there, really nice. We're gonna go ahead and throw our compressor on, turn the multiband on, and then we're gonna go ahead and knock up the gain to about 10. Well, bam. And then we're gonna turn the mix down to 50 and throw this on there. And it's gonna add a bunch more. Just tons of noise there. So we're gonna go ahead and EQ out a bunch of that. And first thing I'm gonna do is remove this kind of a problematic frequency that I found around, I feel, 280. So 280, bring it down about -7. -7, and use the notch right here. And then the next thing we're gonna do is bring down this frequency to a good number like 200. We're gonna turn the Q down to 45. Well, bam. We're gonna do it to a roll off right there and put this on the frequency and put that number on to 45. Well, bam. That's just to add a little bit more movement, which is really nice. And then we're gonna go ahead and just turn on a little bit of reverb at about 10. And there you go. That's pretty much all there is to the sound. When you save it, you might notice that every now and then it's a little bit different when you load it up. So you might want to bounce at the audio or turn down the width on this. I think a little bit in the global. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the sound. Other ways you can change it is just messing with the oscillators, of course. Just turn this up. Gets you some really cool sounds. Different oscillators can do all sorts of different things with this kind of setup. This filter and is very useful along with the distortion and the hyper to get a very good tone out of pretty much any oscillator that you use. There's a lot of bad ones, but there's also a lot of gems out of there. Comb filter really helps. The compressor really helps, and then this is just clean up as you go around, so you might need to move this around a bit with each different sound that you find. And that's pretty much it. No post-processing. Like if you go into my mixer right here, it's not even on anything. The only thing I have on my master is just a little bit of volume boost, so that it was a little bit louder. That's it. It's just Loud Max, which is free online. I talk about it a bit in my VST talk, and then Unlimited, which I also talk about. Just threw it on there. Literally didn't even change anything. And that's pretty much it. Drop a like and subscribe, and go ahead and comment any sound requests or things that you have to say in the comments below. I will be listening and always looking for new sounds to make. Thank you so much for listening to this one, and I hope you have a great day.